Good evening, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our esteemed chairpersons. Our first chairperson is Dr. Shubha Singh. She is the dynamic president of.
We can't hear her.
Hello, am
Hello.
I audible? Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes.
You're audible.
Yeah. Now you're audible.
Okay. Our first chairperson is Dr. Shubha Singh. She is the dynamic president of JOGS. She did her post-graduation MS from GSVM Medical College, Kanpur, and she is practicing in Jaunpur since 1993, and she is running her own center, Harshit Medical Center. She is a renowned practitioner known for her basic management of infertility with productive response. Apart from this, she is director of Nursing College, a Pharmacy College, Paramedical College, and Agricultural College. I welcome her, Dr. Shubha Singh, ma'am. Our next eminent chairperson is Dr. Shakuntala Yadav. Dr. Shakuntala Yadav, ma'am, did her post-graduation from KGMU, Lucknow, and she is a leading practitioner of Jaunpur since 1986. She is running her own center, Kuar Das Sevashram. Our third esteemed chairperson is Dr. Priyambada Singh. She is one of our senior most members and Vice President of Jaunpur Obstetrics and Gynecological Society. She needs special mention for her active participation in all JOGS activities. She did her post-graduation in 1973 from Ranchi. Since then, she held various government posts in various places, and finally she retired in 2009 as Joint Director, District Women Hospital, Jaunpur. She is, even after retirement, she is very active. We all know about her, doing all surgeries and going to various
voice
hospitals.
Is gone again, Khushbu. Ma'am, her voice is audible, ma'am.
She is.
Yes, her voice is audible, ma'am.
She is training quality manager in Hosla Training Center. She has been training many doctors for mini lab and lab tubectomy under CIFSA, and she has attended many trainings and workshops. I welcome all our chairpersons. Thank you.
Anju, our convener now. Thank you.
Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Dr. Anju, as you all, she's a renowned practitioner along with Dr. Vinod Kanojia, and they are running the, I won't say huge, but it is very helpful to society. They are wearing orthopedics and gynecology. She's done her MS and MBBS from Allahabad Medical College, and is very much near to nature. As I know, I have been to her place at native place, and वृक्षारोपण करना, पौधों की देखभाल करना मीन्स प्रकृति के बहुत पास हैं, जो आज हमारी समाज की एक बहुत बड़ी आवश्यकता है. So this is all about Anju.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Shubha Singh, can you just give a brief about the topic?
Yeah, sure. Actually, being a president of JOGS, as we all know, it is Jaunpur Obs and Gynae Society. I'm really proud to inaugurate our breastfeeding week in Jaunpur. And FOGSI, as we all know, is celebrating breastfeeding week since 1st to 7th August. And it has not an academic motto. It has to be for promotion of breastfeeding, and to society we have to convey the benefits, the hygienic points, and the why Mother should not sterilize the bottles and all. This is so convenient for her, and it is although very healthy for the baby for demand feeding. And we have so many taboos in society, so we have to discourage that. And the most important thing is today, as we are very much worried about viral infections and so many, so baby, when she or he is contact with the mother for breastfeeding, if there is no blood contact, the baby is totally safe. And that is although a terminal part, but I would like to thank Khushbu, Pankaj Sahu, and Satish Singh with their effort and with their effort of this effort for this webinar. And I think it should prove to be very beneficial for these people who are attending the for the delegates. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Dr. Anju, can we introduce our speaker, Dr. Amber, now?
Okay. As we all know, today we are celebrating Breastfeeding Week by FOGSI, and I welcome you all this Sunday evening to our all esteemed faculties, Dr. Shubha ma'am, Dr. Shakuntala ma'am, Dr. P. Singh ma'am, and also I would like to welcome as a guest and as an expert, Dr. Saroj Yadav, who is at present with our society. Welcome, ma'am. And now, first of all, I am introducing Dr. Amber, who is a speaker of today's evening. She has done MBBS from Iraz Medical College, Lucknow, 2001, and she has done DGO from Motilal Nehru Medical College in 2008. Presently, she is Secretary of Ops and Gynae Society, Jaunpur, and she is also consultant and director of GHK GHK Hospital, Jaunpur. She is a life member of IFS and life members of Indian Medical Association. She is also organized various CMEs and guest lectures like anemia, AUB, and bacterial vaginosis. Now I am inviting Dr. Amber to present her lecture. Dr. Amber.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. Good evening to all the members present here, my seniors and colleagues. I welcome you all today's evening. And today's topic, can I share my screen now?
Yes, ma'am, you can start sharing. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Is it visible?
No, ma'am, it is not. No, ma'am, it is not visible.
It is not visible. Visible nahi hai. One second.
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, now, ma'am, we can see you have started screen sharing. It is visible now, ma'am. Can you do the slideshow? Yeah. Yes, ma'am, it is visible. You can continue.
Okay. So today's topic is breastfeeding. As FOGSI is celebrating its breastfeeding week, and now the second day. Today is the second day of its celebration, and our society has also planned so many celebrations during this week. And part of this celebration is today's webinar. So starting with the topic,
What is the definition of breastfeeding? Breastfeeding is the feeding of an infant or young child with breast milk directly from female human breast. That is via lactation and not from the bottle or any other container. So in general, the more we know about human breast milk, more we discover about its value in human nutrition and development. Some figures I am presenting here: in India, around 1.2 million children die everywhere up to 5 years of age. Out of this, 58% is neonatal period. They are in neonatal period. So early initiation of breastfeeding is associated with significant reduction of around 44% in neonatal mortality. So begin with I will just give a brief anatomy and physiology. As we all know that breast consists of glandular tissue which contains lactiferous sinuses which help in making the milk by taking nutrition from the mother's blood. And then this milk goes along the lactiferous ducts towards the nipple. This is the milk ejection reflex, which consists of two parts, prolactin reflex and milk ejection reflex. Whenever the baby suckles at the nipple and areola, there are small nerve and these nerve endings will carry the sensory messages to the pituitary and hypothalamus, from where the hormones are released, prolactin and oxytocin. First, the prolactin reflex is there, which helps in making the milk by alveolar cells. Alveolar cells will secrete the milk and they will swell up. And now comes the role of oxytocin. The same nerve endings will carry the message to the hypothalamus and pituitary, and again oxytocin will be released, and then hormone is carried to the breast, and alveolar muscles are contracted and the milk is secreted. This is also known as let down reflex or milk ejection reflex. Here are some factors which help in enhancing the prolactin reflex, as well as some factors which lead to decrease in prolactin release. Enhancing factors are suckling by the baby, expression of milk, frequent breastfeeding, and night feeds, because prolactin secretion is more at the night time. And what are the hindering factors? Incorrect position, painful breast due to engorgement or sore nipple, anything, pre-lacteal feeds, and top feeding. And this is a chart showing the oxytocin reflex. The enhancing factors are whenever mother thinks of baby with love, sound of baby, sight of baby, mother is relaxed, comfortable, and confident. And hindering factors are worry, stress, pain, and doubt. But suckling by the baby is the most important stimulus for production and secretion of milk in the mother. This is a simple chart which we can see. Whenever infant starts sucking at the breast, stimulation of nerve endings in the nipple and areola, they will pass signal to the mother's hypothalamus or pituitary. Pituitary will release prolactin and oxytocin, and these hormones will lead to milk production and milk ejection. Few reflexes in baby is also important, like rooting, suckling, and swallowing to make breastfeeding successful. Now coming to the types of breast milk: colostrum, transitional milk, mature milk, preterm milk, foremilk, and hind milk. So what is colostrum? Earlier days, colostrum was said like witch's milk. These days are gone now. Colostrum is a must now. So it is excreted during first week after delivery. It is yellow and thick. It is rich in antibodies and WBCs. It is secreted small in quantity, high in protein. Very important point is that it acts as a laxative, so it helps in clearing of the meconium from the baby's GIT. It should never be discarded. Concentration of arachidonic acid and DHA is very much higher in colostrum. Then what is transitional milk? Following the colostrum, next 2 weeks transitional milk is secreted, which is high in immunoglobulins. It is low in protein, but it contains high fat and sugar. Then following the transitional milk, there is secretion of mature milk, which is secreted till the cessation of breastfeeding. It is thinner and watery, and it contains all the essential nutrients. And what is preterm milk? In mothers who have delivered prematurely, preterm milk is secreted, which is according to the demand of a preterm baby, and it is very important in their growth, and it is high in protein, sodium, iron, and immunoglobulins. Then what is foremilk and hind milk? When baby starts feeding, initially the foremilk is secreted, which is low in fat but high in carbohydrate. Then it is followed by milk ejection reflex, and then hind milk is secreted, which is high in fat. So fore milk is secreted at the start of the feed. It is watery, more rich in protein, sugar, vitamins, minerals, and water. It is important for satisfying the thirst of the baby. Then hind milk is secreted towards the end of the feed. It is rich in fat. It provides more of energy, and it is responsible for satisfying the baby's hunger. So we have to prepare our patient, our mothers, for a successful breeding, for successful breastfeeding. So how we have to do our part is, first of all, we have to motivate the mother. We have to motivate her in choosing the right place for the delivery. On our part, we have to avoid giving unnecessary drugs before delivery. After delivery, breastfeeding should be started as soon as possible. Give colostrum, maintain good position while breastfeeding. Recommend demand feeding. Continue feed as long as baby demands. Don't wash nipple before and after every feed. And we should alarm mother about the breast engorgement. So what is the proper position while breastfeeding? Body of the baby should be supported. We have to ensure that baby's head, neck, and back, they are all in same plane. Baby's body should face mother, and baby's abdomen should touch mother's abdomen, because correct positioning will ensure effective suckling and prevent sore nipples and breast engorgement. 4 criteria for good attachment. Here you can see 2 pictures. The first is showing the good attachment. What are the points for good attachment? That baby's mouth is wide open, the lower lip should be everted out, and less of areola is visible. These are the different various breastfeeding positions. Most common is cradle hold position, in which the baby's head is supported at mother's elbow. Then other positions are like side lying position, which is very important in cases of cesarean delivery, because mothers are not able to sit because of pain. So we should promote this position in deliveries after cesarean section. Other positions are like football hold, cross cradle, Australian position. These are different positions. Then what are the indicators of successful feeding in baby? There are some points like audible and visible swallowing, sustained rhythmic suck, baby's arm must be relaxed, moist mouth, baby should wet 6 to 8 diapers in a day, there should be 3 to 4 bowel movements in a day, and average weight gain in a day is around 20 to 40 grams. Baby regains his birth weight by 10th day of delivery. And after feeding, he sleeps comfortably. For optimal growth, baby needs both fore milk and hind milk. Baby should be allowed to empty one breast fully. Only then he should be transferred to other breast. Baby receiving only fore milk will cry excessively. After feeding, burping is very important. These are few pictures showing different positions for burping. Even when baby has burp, we should continue burping for around 5 or 10 minutes. Then coming to storage of breast milk, it is very easy to store breast milk. At room temperature, we can express the milk and can store it for around 8 hours. In an insulated ice bag, we can keep it for around 24 hours. In a fridge, we can keep for 5 days. In a freezer for 2 weeks. And in deep freezer, can be stored even up to 1 year. So why the breast milk is so superior? So let's see about the contents. It is high in protein. Whey protein means our main protein. Then others are lactoferrin, secretory immunoglobulins, which are helpful in preventing from eczema and allergies. Other immunoglobulins, IgM and IgE. Lysozyme, which protects infection from E. coli and Salmonella. Bifidus factor, which promotes the growth of lactobacillus, which again helps in protecting from infection. Then essential fatty acid present in breast milk in development of brain, retina, and nervous system. And carbohydrates mainly present are lactose, galactose, and galactolipids. Breast milk is a rich source of hormones which is secreted from mother's blood. It is rich in TSH, thyroxine, parathyroid hormone, corticosteroids, calcitonin, insulin, oxytocin, prolactin, and few growth factors are also released in, also secreted in breast milk. Vitamins, fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, K, they all are found, but vitamin K is low in concentration, so it should be supplemented from outside. Other vitamins A, C, E, they are more than cow's milk. Then in 1991, UNICEF has initiated a baby-friendly hospital initiative. What is a baby-friendly hospital? A hospital which practices 10 steps to successful breastfeeding. What are the 10 steps? First, we have to have a written breastfeeding policy, which we have to communicate to our all healthcare staff. Second point is we have to train our staff in the skills necessary to implement that policy. Then we have to inform all our pregnant females about the benefits and management of breastfeeding. We should help mothers initiate breastfeeding as early as possible after delivery, possibly within first half an hour. Show mothers how to breastfeed and how to maintain lactation even if she is not with the baby. Give newborn infants no food or other drinks other than milk, other than breast milk unless medically indicated. We should encourage rooming in, encourage breastfeeding on demand, give no artificial pacifiers or soothers to the baby, foster the establishment of breastfeeding support groups and refer mothers to them on discharge from the hospital or clinic. What are the rules of breastfeeding? WHO recommends exclusive breastfeeding for first 6 months of life, and it should be continued for up to second year. It should be supplemented with complementary foods, which should be started at around 6 months of age. But important point here is that complementary food should be homemade, hygienically made, and it should not be a very watery food like dal water and rice water should be avoided. Then rooming in should be encouraged. Breastfeeding should be started as soon as possible. Then how much to be given? Like for first 3 months, 8 to 12 feeds in a day. Then for next 3 months, 6 feeds in a day, and till 1 year, 5 feeds in a day. No supplements should be given to breastfeeding newborn. And we should avoid giving soothers and pacifiers. No gutti, no shahad, no water, nothing extra. Then all breastfeeding infants should receive 400 international units of vitamin D drops daily, beginning during first 2 months of life. Then vitamin K injection should be given within 6 hours of the delivery. Then all breastfed infants should be seen by a pediatrician at 3 to 5 days to evaluate hydration of the baby, weight of the baby, and to discuss any issues. So now coming to the benefits of the breastfeeding. So benefits to the baby, it provides best possible nutrition to baby. It reduces infections like pneumonia, meningitis, middle ear infection, and diarrhea. It protects babies from allergy and eczema. It is very essential for optimal physical, emotional, and mental development. And breastfed kids are smarter kids. Their IQ is increased by at least 3 to 4 points. There is reduced risk of being overweight and obese in later in life. Reduced risk of acute leukemia, reduced risk of sudden infant death syndrome, better dental hygiene, dental health. It helps in gastrointestinal, immune, and cognitive development. Now, benefits to mother. It promotes special mother-child bonding. It prevents postpartum hemorrhage. It helps in involution of uterus. It helps in birth spacing, so in family planning. Reduces the risk of breast and ovarian cancer, reduces the risk of diabetes and cardiovascular disease, especially type 2 diabetes. It helps in achieving pre-pregnancy weight if breastfeeding is done for a longer duration, and it reduces the stress. Now we have social benefits as well, like it is income saving. It reduces the hospital visits, so leading to reduced medical costs. Economically productive mothers because they spend less time in taking care of their sick babies, and it is eco-friendly. Now as an obstetrician, here our part comes, because we have to look for the barriers to breastfeeding, and we have to do our best to eliminate these barriers. So what could be the barriers? Simple factors could be barriers like lack of confidence in a mother, history of previous breast surgery, breast engorgement or cracked nipple and sore nipples, embarrassment by mother at public places, jealousy by older siblings, chronic illness in mother, psychosis and cancer, mother is returning to work or to school, and aggressive marketing by formula companies is also a factor. Then what issues in breastfeeding which are very much curable? Inverted nipple, sore nipple, breast engorgement, breast abscess. Then one more point is improper or inadequate lactation if there is delay in initiation or improper attachment. Failure of lactation is a very rare phenomena. Blood stain discharge from nipple. Then inverted and flat nipple. So this is a diagram showing an inverted and flat nipple. How can we make a diagnosis of inverted nipple? We have to examine our patient Rather, breastfeeding, breast examination must be an integral part of our obstetric examination in the later half of the pregnancy, that is in the 3rd trimester. Whenever we squeeze the areola or when we press the areola, if normally the nipple should protrude out, but if nipple is not protruding out, rather it is retracting inside, that means it is a case of inverted nipple. So can a woman breastfeed? How to identify and correct, and any measures antenatally. So how to identify, I told you. And can she continue breastfeeding? Yeah, she has to. Some points regarding inverted nipple. True inverted nipples are rare. And we have to counsel the patient very carefully, because we have to tell her that babies are attached to breast and not to nipples. So we have to explain them properly. Just before feeding, she can use a syringe, nipple puller, breast pump, or a silicone nipple shield. Antenatally, we have to do nothing, because if we do any kind of breast massage or nipple massage, it can lead to premature uterine contractions. So next is breast engorgement. This is a picture showing an engorged breast, overfilled tight breast, no milk flowing out of it, and it's very painful condition. Why it happens? Plenty of milk is there, because patient is not because mother is not feeding the child frequently. So here are the points which are causing engorgement of breast, and like plenty of milk, delay in breastfeeding, poor attachment, infrequent feeding, and restriction to the length of feed. So how we can cure them? Simply by more frequent emptying of breast, early initiation of breastfeeding, proper attachment, frequent feed, encourage unrestricted breastfeeding. Like it should be demand feeding. Baby can feed as he wants. Then how to manage? We do not have to give rest to the breast. If baby is able to suck, we should encourage feeding frequently. If baby is not able to suck, we have to express out the milk. Before feed, we have to take some points in consideration, like we have to check that mother should be relaxed. We can give a massage, gentle massage to her back and neck. A gentle massage to breast can be given. We have to stimulate the nipple. Warm packs can be given. Patient should take warm shower as well. Then to relieve pain and congestion and swelling, we can give cold compresses. Then breast has to be expressed by manual or by breast pump. Then other is sore nipple. This is the commonest reason for discontinuation of breastfeeding. So breastfeeding for the mother should be a pleasurable thing. It should not be hurting. So what are the causes of painful nipple? Improper position and attachment of the baby to the nipple, engorged breast, not breaking suction while removing the baby after feeding, ankyloglossia, that is tongue tie, and one more entity is there, which is candidiasis of breast. And management of sore nipple. If improper position is the cause, just by correcting the position we can cure it. Then we should advise our patients to apply express breast milk to the nipples after each feed and let it air dry. Then avoid engorgement by frequent feedings. Nipple creams and ointment use is still questionable. We can advise her applying warm and wet clothes over the around the breast before feed. Avoid frequent washing with soap and water. And one more entity which I like to discuss here is candidiasis on the breast. Breast can look normal, red or irritated. Mother will complain of deep penetrating pain and burn and stinging sensation after each feed. In a normal looking breast, it can be there. Then we have to look for oral thrush in baby and candidal vaginitis in mother. So if candida is there, the treatment in baby and mother both has to be taken care of. In mother, we can advise nystatin cream or any other antifungal cream after each feed. And it does not need to be washed before every feed. Then gentian violet can be applied once in a day for 3 days. If vaginitis is present, treat vaginitis. Oral fluconazole can be given for 10 to 14 days depending upon the severity. For baby, if he is having oral thrush, then gentian violet or nystatin drops can be applied after each feed for 14 days. If baby is having fungal diaper rash, then gentian violet once in a day or nystatin 4 times in a day should be advised. Then next is mastitis. It is very, very painful. Patient presents with fever, chills, rigor, tenderness. And here the breast is very much inflamed. Incidence is very high, around 1 to 33. 50% of lactating women present with this usually happens within first 3 months of the delivery, and it usually affects upper outer quadrant and usually unilateral. Should breastfeeding be continued in mastitis? Yes, it should be, because organisms are very rarely found in the breast milk. Continued breastfeeding will avoid engorgement and it will facilitate vascular and lymphatic drainage. It is very important, rather it is an important part of treatment. Other contributing factors to be looked for, positive organisms are Staph aureus, E. coli, Streptococcus and MRSA. Then breast abscess. In breast abscess also, we should encourage patient to continue breastfeeding. Milk from breast with abscess has increased levels of anti-inflammatory components. So it is beneficial for baby rather. So continuation of breastfeeding does not pose a risk to baby. Some infants may dislike the taste. So how to manage? Obviously, we'll say incision and drainage along with proper antibiotics. But last 2 years, extensive studies are going on for a new management modality, which is needle aspiration of abscess. Many Cochrane studies has also been done. So what is needle aspiration? Needle aspiration we can do like this with a around 14 to 16 needle, or if it is a deep-seated abscess, we do even an ultrasound guided aspiration. Why it is much better than incision and drainage? Because it is minimally invasive. It avoids admission to the hospital. It avoids anesthesia. In case of deep abscess, you can do ultrasound guided. It is a very much less painful procedure. In this, it is easy to continue being, and only local anesthesia with 1% lignocaine will suffice the procedure, and aspirate whatever is taken out should be culture sensitivity. Then more entity I would like to say here, blood stained nipple discharge. Sometimes patient complains of bloody discharge from the nipple. So we have to look locally very properly. If there is some congestion or some ulcer over the breast, we have to examine it. And it is unilateral or bilateral. If everything is fine, we can look for lump in the breast. If anything serious you see, then you have to investigate accordingly by ultrasound, by cytology, and by galactography. So these were the factors which are very much hindering the breastfeeding continuation. So we have to look for them, and we have to correct them. Now, moving further, is it safe to continue breastfeeding while pregnant? Generally, it is safe as far as the patient is eating and drinking healthy. But in some cases, it can trigger mild uterine contractions. So be careful if any history of preterm pain or bleeding is there. It is all mother's choice to continue breastfeed the newborn as well as the older one. We have to look for mothers with special needs, like mothers after cesarean deliveries, after multiple pregnancies, separation or employed mother, maternal disease and drug use. Some diseases and infections we need to discuss here is like tuberculosis. Tubercular patients should continue breastfeeding. Isolation is recommended only till mother is infectious, or she is having MDR tuberculosis, or she is non-adherent to TB. Even in case of open tuberculosis, we should encourage, we can advise patient to put or wear a mask on her mouth, and she can breastfeed her baby. Then vaccination, if mother is vaccinated or she is living with children who are vaccinated with live or inactive vaccines, it is not going to hamper breastfeeding. It should not hamper breastfeeding because it has no effect on that. Then CMV infection, it recently became a matter of debate as it may cause serious complications in newborns. Then women with herpes simplex infection, it is not transmitted through breast milk, but if active lesions are present over the nipple or skin over the areola, then we have to be careful. Then women with hepatitis A, hepatitis B, and hepatitis C, they are all not contraindication. We have to initiate breastfeeding after giving proper active and passive immunization of the baby. Then in case of HIV, if it is advanced disease or it is a recent infection, or it presents with breast abscess, mastitis, nipple lesions, or oral candidiasis in baby, then we should give option to mother that she may choose between exclusive replacement feeding or she can choose exclusive breastfeeding. We can give an option of exclusive breastfeeding, and we have to make it safer by giving it for shorter duration. We have to give ART to baby or mother and to both. In cases of heart disease, only to be withheld if patient failure. Even in these cases, of milk is to be encouraged. Diabetic mother on insulin can continue breastfeeding. Then few drugs like analgesics, acetaminophen and ibuprofen, they are very much safe. Antituberculars are usually safe, except for ethambutol can lead to ocular defects in baby. Thyroid medications like propylthiouracil, it should be it is contraindicated. Antihypertensive ACE inhibitors contraindicated. Antidiabetic sulfonylurea is contraindicated. Antiarrhythmic atenolol, amiodarone contraindicated. Anticoagulants like warfarin and heparin, they are not contraindicated. They are high molecular weight drugs, so they do not pass into the breast milk. Antimalarials, most are safe. Mefloquine is contraindicated. So now, what are the contraindications? Contraindications could be in infant, could be in mother. In infants, inborn error of metabolism like galactosemia, phenylketonuria. In mothers, infection with HIV, active tuberculosis, infection with human T-cell lymphocytic virus, untreated brucellosis. Mother is taking any radioactive isotopes. Mother is on anti-cancer drug. Mother is abusing drugs. Active herpes simplex virus infection with lesions, active lesions present on the nipple. Alcohol and smoking, they are not a contraindication, but we have to counsel the patient to quit them or to moderate their dose. So why the mother's milk is the superior milk? Because it is always available at proper temperature. It is clean and fresh, free of contamination, and cheap. Mother's milk versus formula milk. Formula milk for 3 days older baby is no different than formula milk for 3 months old baby. And breast milk is different every single day according to the changing need of the baby. Human milk is designed to support the development of large brains capable of processing and sorting a lot of information, while cow and buffalo milk is designed for functions such as grazing. So species specific milk is there. So human milk for human babies, cow's milk for cow's baby. So nutrition of nursing mother is very important, should be maintained very properly. She should be given balanced diet because she is burning more 500 more calories in a day. She should be supplemented with proper multivitamins and iron. She should be encouraged to maintain hydration by drinking lot of liquids and water. Avoid caffeine, avoid alcohol and smoking. But even after all these things, best galactogog is a baby suckling at breast in correct position frequently and for longer duration. So now coming to the very present current scenario, COVID-19, breastfeeding and COVID-19. What are WHO recommendations? Mothers with suspected or confirmed COVID-19 infection should be encouraged to initiate or continue breastfeeding. No sufficient data to conclude vertical transmission happens through breastfeeding. If at all it occurs, this is very low, usually asymptomatic or very mild infection. So it should be continued because the consequences of not breastfeeding and separating mother and child is more significant. Breastfeeding is very safe unless mother is too sick. No, no live virus have been found in breast milk. Antibodies transferred to baby strengthens immune system and protects baby. A few points to be few points here to be taken care of, like we should advise patient to wear mask. She should wash her hands before and after feed, and she should sanitize before and after contact with baby, and clean and disinfect surfaces touched by the mother. So here, hello. So to conclude my talk, I would say that breast milk is best source of nutrition to the newborn baby. Even WHO recommends exclusive breastfeeding for first 6 months. Human milk is human specific. Breast milk storage is very easy and it can be stored and utilized later. In certain situations, it is challenging for mothers to breastfeed their baby. So we have to identify these situations and we have to provide specific support to the patients to really help them. So at last, mother's milk is the best milk for the infant, irrespective of the mother's religion, race, caste, everything. And breastfed babies are healthy babies and happy babies. Thank you for your patient hearing.
I'll request Dr. Anju to introduce Dr. Saroj Yadav and Dr. Madhu, please. Rest all, please mute yourself. It will create disturbance. Dr. Anju is introducing Dr. Saroj and Dr. Madhu.
Hello. I welcome Dr. Saroj Yadav, who is very renowned pediatrician of Jaunpur. She is expert in today's CME. She is consultant pediatrician at Healthcare Hospital Jaunpur. She has done MD Pediatrics from Seth GS Medical College, Mumbai. She is ex-lecturer Rajawadi Hospital, trained at asthma and allergy in children. Welcome, Dr. Saroj.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
And I also welcome Dr. Madhu, who is a very renowned gynecologist and IVF specialist at Krishna Maternity Hospital and IVF Center, Jaunpur. She is our first IVF specialist in Jaunpur, and she is very dynamic personality. She is very loving to all our JOGS member. Welcome, ma'am.
Yes. Can we unmute Dr. Madhu? And Dr. Amber, can you please stop sharing the screen so that we can share now? Yeah, thank you.
Welcome, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
A
ma'am.
very good evening. And first of all, I should thank Amber for organizing such a nice, informative CME on this evening. Amber, it was very, very informative because I'm feeling now what questions are left with me. Anyhow, I am going to ask questions. Before that, I am putting 5 questions as a quiz for all of you. You all will be given 1 minute and you have to answer in the chat box. One or two is one-liner, otherwise it is simple one-word answer. And Dr. Shubha will be giving prize announcing prize for it at the end of the session. Okay, so Khushbu, you can flash the questions and everyone reply in the chat box. I hope everyone is ready. So Khushbu.
So ma'am, for the first question, we'll keep for 2 minutes, right? And for the rest, we'll keep 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dr. Amber and Dr. Saroj will be the judges.
Yes.
So they don't have to participate in it.
So except Dr. Amber and Dr. Saroj, rest all needs to participate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So can we start with the first question now? Yes. So the question is the theme of World Breastfeeding Week. So you have 2 minutes for this. Please don't say.
You have to just write on the chat box.
Ma'am, can we mute everybody, please?
Yeah. You mute. Everyone has to write in the chat box the theme of World Breastfeeding Week 2020. The theme. Theme of World Breastfeeding Week 2020. Kindly write in the chat box. Khushbu, if time is over, you can change the second slide.
Yes, ma'am. Next 30 seconds. That's it.
Yeah. And tell Amber to check it.
Ma'am, we can go to the second question.
Yes, yes, second question.
Exclusive breastfeeding should be for how many months? The question, you have to answer it in 1 minute, please.
Should be for how many months? You have to write just how many months. I think everyone is going to grab the prize. Khushbu, next question.
Yes. Can we go to next question? Yeah.
A trace element which is present only in breast milk, not in goat milk. The trace element which is present only in human milk, not in cows and goat milk. Trace element which is present only in human milk. You can check.
Yes. Ma'am, next question.
Can a coronavirus mother breastfeed her baby? Yes or no? You have to just write yes.
We can go to next question.
Yes, we can go to next. Can a Rh negative mother breastfeed her Rh positive baby before NTD injection? Yes or no? Can a negative mother breastfeed her Rh positive baby before NTD injection? Yes or no? Now, Khushbu, we can end with this.
Yes.
Amber, kindly see to the results and inform Dr. Shubha for the results. Now, the session which we are going to take is question answer sessions. First, I will be asking, though Amber has discussed everything, but then too, we want our pediatrics society to help us to give a common consensus about it. Though books are saying everything, but then too we have a question, we should or we should not. So Dr. Saroj, are you hearing me?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question? I was just on another call. Can you just repeat the question, ma'am, please?
No, there is no question. Now I am taking the questions.
Yes.
One has discussed everything, but we want a consensus from you as a pediatrician so that our all gynecologist colleagues can know a common consensus. Yes, we can do, or yes, we cannot. Okay. So
okay,
you just answer me in yes or no.
Okay. Okay, fine.
And if many pediatricians I'm seeing, if you want to pass the question, you can pass to Dr. Ashok, Dr. Arvind. I think they are all here. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Just want to simplify asking this. HIV patient who is, she's just diagnosed during delivery, during labor, that she is HIV positive, unbooked patient. Can a mother feed her baby? She is not diagnosed, just recently diagnosed on the labor table or on the Caesar table that she is
Yes.
HIV positive.
Yes. She can breastfeed the baby, because if at all baby had to be infected, baby would have already been infected by vertical transmission, which is at the rate of 20%. Containing breast milk will only transmit hardly 2% chances of transmission. So if at the time of delivery she is diagnosed and the baby was in the womb, so if baby had to be infected, congenital infection, the baby is already infected for sure. And anyway, now we are going to start retroviral antiviral therapy for the mother, so we can continue safely to the baby. There is no harm unless there is some crack on the nipple or baby has some mouth lesions.
That's it. Means HIV, that's it. A HIV mother can feed a baby just after birth or when she is taking treatment. Okay, it's true.
Yeah, she can give just after birth also. I mean, yeah. Okay.
A patient with active tuberculosis who is on 4-drug regime.
Okay.
Should a obstetrician take advice of a pediatrician that any drug has to be abandoned or added or reduced during a 4-drug regime?
See, if it is a MDR regime, ma'am, they have to be taken advice of the specialist of TB, like RN TCP people. But if it is a normal regime, ethambutol is not at all contraindicated now. In fact, it is safely given even in children without any HCC.
Dr. Saroj, she's on 4-drug regime.
So HRZD, no. They should not take any advice from the pediatrician. I mean, they can. She's already on the 4-drug regime, and if she's not an active case, she can breastfeed the baby. Regarding INH prophylaxis, if she's not an active case, it is not needed for the baby.
Okay, that means she can feed her baby.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. Next question is, if a hepatitis B positive mother delivers a baby, can she feeds immediately, or a baby should receive immunoglobulin before feeding?
No, she can feed the baby immediately. That is not a problem. But baby has to receive immunoglobulin and vaccination immediately after birth.
That means she can.
Yeah. There is no time.
Allow feeding. Okay, thank you.
Hello, ma'am. I would like to, if anything, Dr. Arvind or Dr. Ashok has to come in, they can correct me at the same time, because I am.
They will be given
a
chance.
Fine.
If anything is wrong about, means if we are not on the same
same line. So
yeah. Mothers having herpes simplex on one breast, can a mother feed from other breast?
Of course, she can feed from the other breast.
Simplex lesion.
Yes, but from the breast, if there is active lesion, she cannot feed the baby from that breast. But other breast, she can feed.
Okay. That means other breast, easily we can give milk.
Yeah.
Mothers infected with hepatitis C, can mother feed?
Yeah, of course. There is no contraindication for hepatitis C. She can feed the baby immediately.
Okay. Mothers who are taking alcohol and smoking, should we advise to abandon it, or anything we can they take after feeding, after feeding, how many hours, how to counsel? This is prevalent.
Exactly, like this is not a absolute contraindication for the baby to be fed, but of course both the things are harmful for the mother and the baby. That everybody knows.
That everyone knows.
So, but there is no there is no fixed regime for this. You should try to avoid it before feeding at least, and if she has already taken whatever liquor or something, at least she should wait for 4 to 5 hours. That's what is my practical common sense. I have not gone through any reference for this, but it's not an absolute contraindication. But I don't know how much alcohol and whatever things are secreted in the breast milk immediately after she consumes. I don't know. I'm not aware of. Maybe it will be at the peak after 2 to 3 hours rather than immediately. So I guess if she takes the liquor and feeds after 2 to 3 hours, that might be the time where the alcohol will be in her breast milk rather than immediately after taking the liquor.
So we should avoid for 4 to 5 hours before.
I'm not sure, ma'am. I have not read any literature.
We'll take off another pediatrician, Dr. Ashok and Dr. Arvind's help after this session. Okay. As Amber told that vitamin D should be supplemented as it is low in breast milk is low, or just a general supplement should be given?
No, ma'am. Vitamin D should be supplemented to all the preterms, terms, IUGR, everyone, 400 international unit, and that has to be continued for 1 year. Whether mother is low in vitamin D or
Saroj, yeah. Please, we want to know. I want to inform all the obstetricians that IUGR babies, low birth weight babies should be supplemented just after birth, or
ma'am. IUGR babies, low birth weight babies, term babies, everybody has to be supplemented immediately after birth. But even if you wait for a few days, it is not going to cause any harm. Especially for the preterm babies, when their gut is immature, just wait for them to come to the full feeds. Then you start vitamin D. But IUGR and low birth weight, if they're already taking full feed or quite a sufficient amount of feed and there is no GI problem, they are quite okay, then every pediatrician is going to start vitamin D if he is going to tolerate it. Only thing, if baby is not going to tolerate, he is vomiting out the breast milk, then they will wait for the baby to settle down and then they will start vitamin D. There is no hard and fast rule that it should be started, but it can be started.
There is no compulsory. It is not compulsory. It is optional. You can start or you cannot.
No, it is not optional. It is compulsory to give vitamin D to everybody. But depends, your baby should be fit enough. Like if he's already sick and is not tolerating breast milk, you cannot give vitamin D. It is compulsory for a fit baby to be given. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, Amber, please unmute Amber. Amber. Khushbu? Can you hear me, Khushbu? Khushbu, please, can you hear me? Khushbu?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Now unmute Amber.
Yeah,
now questions will be to Amber.
Amber, ma'am, can you unmute yourself?
Amber?
I'll call Dr. Amber. No issue. I'll call Dr. Amber.
Ma'am?
Yeah, Amber, now questions are to you. Amber, can you hear me? Amber, can you hear me? Yeah, now few questions are to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Generally, the obstetrician, when goes on the round, mothers ask, kitna frequent hame bacche ko feed karna chahiye? You have told enough in your this thing talk, but just a single note I want. First day baby, second day baby, just how many times a mother should feed? You will reply to the mother. How long a mother should, how frequent a mother should feed?
Ma'am, we should tell them to feed them on demand. But if the baby is sleeping or not demanding, then even then mother has to feed her baby like at 2 or 2.5 hours interval. And there is no specific recommendation about the duration of the feed. It should be given as long as baby is feeding because when baby's stomach is full, ideally baby should go off from the breast on his own. Mother should not take him out of the breast.
Okay. Now, second question is, should contraception be advised while a mother is breastfeeding? If yes, what and how long?
Yes, ma'am. It is proven in studies that breastfeeding is helpful in delaying the ovulation, but only if mother is exclusively breastfeeding his baby. And that too for first 3 months, it is 100%, we can say up to 100% it is protecting. But after that, we should advise them additional contraception and the safer contraception.
अंबर, इसका मतलब पहले 3 महीने में माँ को कहेंगे कोई जरूरत नहीं है या कहेंगे जरूरत है? माँ आपसे ये सवाल करेगी कि क्या डॉक्टर हम कॉन्ट्रासेप्शन लें कि ना लें? लें तो शुरू करें, specific answer I want from you.
Ma'am, we in our scenario we should advise contraception because we don't know what is the compliance of the mother, how much she is going to feed her baby, whether she is doing exclusively or.
माँ कहती है मैं बस अपना छाती का दूध ही पिला रही हूँ, तो आप कब से कहेंगे कि you take?
Ma'am, then we can wait up to 3 months and after that we should start.
Till how long?
As long as patient wants, and ideally it should be for 3 years to maintain the proper spacing.
Indirectly, you want a gap of 3 years or 2 years?
3 years, ma'am.
Okay. The next question is, to promote breastfeeding, what a obstetrician from her side should advise? Counseling. क्या points आप counseling में patient को बताएंगे? आप मुझे tabulate करिए, so that all obstetrician colleagues can.
Ma'am, first point is that most of the mothers think that they are not able to produce sufficient amount of milk. First of all, we have to counsel them that no, every mother can produce sufficient amount of milk to quench the thirst of her baby, and to we have to counsel according to the nutrition of the mother. And if we want, we have to supplement some things. But in the counseling part, first of all, we have to tell her that you are producing enough milk, and then we have to tell that it is not a taboo, and we have to help her eliminating about the social factors. She should not feel embarrassing at public places, and very important part of counseling is the counseling of the family members, because without their support, she will not be able to exclusively breastfeed her baby.
So
and we should tell her that don't do top feeding and extra feeding apart from breastfeeding. We should counsel about not giving any good tea or any supplement to the baby.
Wait, but I want this counseling. So in nutshell, we can advise कि ये क्षमता के साथ होता है, अस्थमा का रिस्क आपके बच्चे में डिक्रीज करेगा, ईयर इन्फेक्शन कम होंगे, डायरिया कम होगा, and breast cancer से prevent करेगा. Okay. The next question is, generally young girls who have delivered nowadays complain that breastfeeding spoils their figure. What message or advice you are going to give them?
Ma'am, we will counsel them that it is totally wrong. Rather, it is going to help them maintaining their figure in a long term if they are going to breastfeed their babies, because it will help in dissolving all the visceral fat which are accumulated in the periphery. So it is totally wrong, and we should counsel accordingly.
तो आप कहेंगे कि नहीं, आपका फिगर मेंटेन रहेगा, आप पिलाइए.
जी मैम.
Now, एक आपने अपनी टॉक में बताया कि with mastitis we can feed a baby. Patient having mastitis we can feed. अगर painful हो तो क्या हम milk निकाल के feed कर सकते हैं?
Yes, ma'am. I told that if it is not able to suck, then we have to express the milk either manually or by breast pump.
So breast pump का painful होता है कि बिना pain आराम से निकल जाता है patient को?
Ma'am, usually the procedure the patients follow here, that is painful. We have to show them the proper procedure, how to do that, so that it should not be painful. It should be very gentle. And if they are doing it properly, then very much less pain is there, even in the case of mastitis.
Any experience of needle aspiration? It was new to me. I have never read it. Needle aspiration, abscess drainage का कोई experience है?
No, ma'am. In today's webinar only by Foxy, I saw this slide and I added at last moment this slide of needle aspiration.
But it is a new thing for us.
Yes, ma'am.
Saroj, please unmute Dr. Saroj.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Some few silly questions which are asked by mother to an obstetrician on rounds. Your clear consensus about it. Okay?
Yes.
How early we can start breastfeeding?
Breastfeeding has, yeah.
How?
I couldn't.
How early we can start breastfeeding after childbirth by Caesar or by normal delivery? How early?
Yeah, by after normal delivery. In fact, now it is said that immediately after delivery, put the baby on mother's breast. In fact, without even washing vernix caseosa, anything.
That will be my next question.
But after Caesar, at least like within 4 hours, or as soon as she gets off her anesthetic effect, baby has to be put on the breast for feeding.
So that
It should be as early as possible.
So after Caesar, it can be after 1 hour.
If the mother is out of anesthesia and she is comfortable, of course it can be after 1 hour. Mother has to be out because anyway it is just spinal, not GA.
Okay. Should honey be given as a first diet?
Never. That is so, I think never.
We should abandon honey.
Anything, nothing. I mean, nothing. Not even honey, sugar, water, nothing.
Okay. Thank you. Should we wash breast before first feed?
Before first feed, actually, breast can be washed. Rather, it is not given in.
Should be washed or it should not be washed?
No, it should be washed actually before first feed, because if the breast is not clean, yeah.
Yeah, means we should wash.
Yeah.
Should be a general consensus, we should wash.
Yeah. But anyway, she must have taken bath in the morning, so I mean, there's no need actually. If she's really dirty breast, then only you need to wash. Because anyway, whatever gut flora is there, that is being passed to the baby anyway through vaginal or everything. So
whatever. हमें patient को पूछना चाहिए कि आप नहाई है कि नहीं, स्नान किया है कि नहीं.
Yeah, she is clean anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
But lower population, I'm just lower socioeconomic.
Okay. Can a patient with cesarean or normal delivery who says to us that दूध नहीं आ रहा है, after expressing also, can we advise formula milk for 1 or 2 days?
No, actually, no top feeding has to be advised at any time of the stage.
1 minute, Dr. Saroj, be precise. Can we, if no milk is coming,
no.
Then what should we do for 1 to 2 days?
First of all, check how old is the baby. It means you check the baby and the mother.
First day I'm asking. First day, no milk is coming. What should we advise?
No. We have to see. Yes. We have to seed ourselves, and if of course, definitely there must be some.
I have seen myself and milk is not coming. What should we advise?
No. Still, we are not going to advise. We are going to let the baby suckle onto her breast, and surely colostrum will come, because poor lactation and incomplete lactation is the stress.
Dr. Saroj, एक भी बूंद नहीं आ रहा है. क्या करना चाहिए?
We have to try our level best to console her, to calm her, to reassure.
I have tried. Baby is crying. What should we give? My question
maybe if any other family member can feed the baby, we should go for that.
No member is there, and in COVID season, no one is there. So
okay, if third thing is, if donor milk is available, we should go. And last,
milk in Jaunpur. No,
then last we have to go for any top feeding, but that is not advised.
Top feeding should be bottle cow's milk or formula milk. What should we advise?
See, ma'am, of course there are.
Your precise answer.
No, I'm just coming to the point. Although it is said that cow milk protein allergy is seen, but even other feeds.
A patient is after me, kya pilaएं? You tell me what we should give.
Go for the formula feeds if she can afford.
Okay. Thank you. How often a mother should give milk for first 7 days?
Baby has to be fed.
सोती है, बच्चा भी सोता है.
No, baby has to be fed on demand, and especially at night she has to awaken the baby and give the feed. If the baby is sleeping for more than
बच्चा सो रही है, बच्चे को उठा के दूध पिलाना चाहिए.
At least 2 to 3. It is as and when needed by the baby. But if baby is going on sleeping, see, generally babies, they do get up at 1.5 to 2 hours and they feed the baby.
3-4 days baby is sleeping. माँ मुझे पूछ रही है मुझे कब उठा के दूध पिलाना चाहिए. आप मुझे बताइए.
If it is a normal baby has to feel hungry and they go on crying whole night. They are not going to sleep because they are just 1 day old baby or 2 day old baby.
If hunger is मेरे से पूछ रहा है मेरा बच्चा सो रहा है उठ नहीं रहा है क्या मैं उठा के दूध पिलाऊं?
She has to, of course, stimulate the baby, wake him up every 1.5 to 2 hours and feed the baby. Of course.
So बच्चा अगर रात भर सो रहा है, that is not normal.
That is not.
Yeah. Thank you. And can a cream be, as I told, We can apply cream for cracked nipple. Should it be washed or not before feeding?
Actually, which cream you're talking about, ma'am? Candida, this mouth paint, or
simple cracked nipples? Simple.
No. It should not be. Simple crack cream should not be washed. I mean, the creams nip care which we apply, they should not be washed. Actually, apply the hind milk. If at all it is necessary, then only apply all those things. Yeah.
So thank you, my expert panelists, Dr. Saroj and Dr. Amber, and my lovely august audience who participated and helped me making this evening successful. Thank you very much.
Hello, ma'am. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
I would like to thank, today is a friendship day, and I would really like to, I'm very happy that on this friendship day, pediatrician and gynec, they had this united kind of webinar, and I'm very lucky to be called by you all. Thank you all. And it was a very, very beautiful presentation by Dr. Amber, and I'm really happy and I'm excited to be here today. Thank you.
So, Amber, now you can announce the...
excuse me, I want to ask one thing. Am I audible?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
You are audible.
I want to say that
हलंती बहुत दिमाग में सोचे हैं चले चले फिर हिम्मत नहीं की मांगो उससे फिर हिम्मत नहीं की
अब आज नहीं गई तो कल हिम्मत करोगी कल शाम को लौटोगी
अब जयंती तुमको भी लग रहा है ना सफर वफर करने में
Can we mute others, please?
उलझन होती है एकदम सफर वफर करने में सफर करके जाओ फिर तरह मुंह बना के
नहीं बात करेंगे इससे तुम अगर जाओगी कल तुम शाम को लौटना पड़ेगा से बोल रहा हूं
mute everybody
टेस्ट तो हम तैयार हैं इनका सोच रहे थे ना कि क्या सोच रहे थे मतलब अपना दिमाग
डॉक्टर जया राय
सोच रहे हैं पता तो है क्या क्या पूछा जाएगा सब चीज पूछ
मैम कैन वी म्यूट फॉर
लेते हैं
डॉक्टर जया राय
सोच रहे थे
म्यूट करो भाई
इतना ही तो होता है
तो उस टाइम यहाँ लाइव नहीं जा पाता
म्यूट योरसेल्फ
लेकिन अब फिर सब कुछ करके हिम्मत
जया म्यूट योरसेल्फ
देखो एकदम हमारा सर इस टाइम घूम रहा है ऐसी तबीयत रही तो बड़ी दिक्कत है
प्रियंका मैम आयु
यार आपको तो दिए जाने को अंधेरा हो गया ठीक है
पंकज जी वी आर डूइंग इट
Whom should I unmute?
म्यूट जया राय Yes, fine. Dr. Shaili, you were saying something?
Yeah, I want to say that regarding the initiation of contraception in breastfeeding women, we should start as early as 6 weeks post-delivery if the mother is exclusively breastfeeding, because ovulation can occur as early as 6 weeks postpartum. And if she is not breastfeeding, then we should initiate at 3 weeks postpartum.
The question was when she's breastfeeding.
When she is breastfeeding, she should start at 6 weeks postpartum. We should start contraception.
Okay.
We should advise contraception to her. The other thing, my question is, we were talking about maternal supplementation of iron and multivitamins in breastfeeding mother. One question is what is the role of calcium supplementation and how long we should supplement all these things to a mother, breastfeeding mother? This question is to Dr. Amber, or anybody can answer.
I think these supplements should be given for around 3 months because generally in our scenario the mothers are not very much well nourished. So by giving proper nutrition and they are not even taking proper food at home, so it will be better if we supplement with iron and calcium and protein during initial 3 months.
So
others can give their opinion. Others can.
I think they usually supplement for 3 months only. That's
I think
and the other,
as long as she is breastfeeding, she can have calcium and iron.
Ideally, till 3 months we should feed. We should supplement.
One thing more I want to discuss here, what Madhu ma'am and Saroj ma'am were discussing regarding the problem of no milk in immediate post-cesarean patient. Sometimes we find little serous discharge from the breast for 1 or 2 days. So that
should not sufficient, Shelly. That is not sufficient.
Yes, ma'am. That was
that I'm asking. So a common consensus.
And ma'am, one thing I like to add: if there is less milk secretion or no milk, then we should advise some galactogogues to the mother And especially the role of metoclopramide is very good here. We can advise 10 milligram TDS initially to increase milk secretion.
Yeah. Yes. My question was only what should we supplement? Cow milk or formula milk? Any
formula milk is better because
yeah. Actually, we encountered this problem very commonly in post-cesarean patient.
Yeah, that's
this
why
question should go to the pediatricians rather than the obstetricians as answer.
The pediatrician has told that formula milk has to be given.
No, ma'am, I'm not told it has to be given. Do every possible thing to feed the baby by breast.
We are doing, but then to patient complain.
Because because the problem is not only.
नहीं, हम तो देना चाहते हैं breast milk, नहीं तो हमें
क्या? Sometimes what happens is by that little amount of serous milk the baby is sleeping, the baby sucks and sleeps. That means it is okay. We need not supplement. Is it okay, Saroj ma'am?
Of course, if the baby is sleeping comfortably, obviously we don't have to and check for the urine output. I mean, if the baby is sleeping comfortably, you don't have to check the urine output. I'm not telling in May, June, if she's feeding, she still might not pass the urine because the temperature goes to 45 to 50 degree. At a normal room temperature, what we advocate 26 to 28, just check the urine output of the 1-day-old baby. If he's passing urine, fine. What is the problem? And just wake the baby, see the reflexes. If baby is active, alert, and crying well, and whenever he gets up, he just sucks onto the breast, he's absolutely fine. You can check with any other family members at home, not in the COVID. I mean, generally, if COVID is not there, any other family member can feed the baby and see if she's a primary mother, he cannot feed the baby because of the flat or inverted nipple. We can check with the other, because it is not the only question that it is decreasing all these kinds of illnesses. But breast milk importance, we are yet to discover, how important it is. Because first 2 to 3 days, whatever top milk we are giving, we are sensitizing the baby's gut to the foreign antigen. And that,
सरोज 1 minute, हमारा क्वेश्चन ये है, पेशेंट जब हॉस्पिटल में रहता है, कोई अवेलेबिलिटी ना हो, हमें क्या जवाब देना चाहिए? That was our question.
But ये मैडम, ये तो एंटीनेटल काउंसलिंग से ही आपको काउंसिल करना होगा ना, कि you have to breastfeed the baby. No, but you have to motivate the mother. Everything has to be there. मतलब वो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए.
Actually, it is a good point. I think
antenatal counseling.
We should
see
it in mind that yes,
very easy
if there
to
is
give
a mother, some other mother, she can nurse. This point we should keep in mind. It may be possible in some cases.
Why breastfeeding is not 100%? Because we are just choosing the easier pathways. We are somewhere we are lacking. That's what.
Good evening, everyone. Ma'am, can I add one thing? I'm Dr. Arvind. Ma'am, Dr. Saroj ने जो बोला ना कि टोटल एक्सक्लूसिव ब्रेस्ट फीड होना चाहिए, एंड डॉक्टर शैली ने उसमें ऐड किया कि लिटिल अमाउंट ऑफ कोलेस्ट्रॉल कैन सेटिस्फाई द बेबी. That's right. Even because the baby's requirement is increasing day by day. On the first day, if baby's weight is around 2.5 kg, so baby need 10 ml per kg for the whole day. We calculate
40 ml for the whole day is enough. 40 to 60 ml for the whole day is enough.
And every 3 hours, 10 ml per kg means needed 20 to 25 ml. And that little amount of cholesterol can satisfy the baby's gut, and that is most important thing.
डॉक्टर अरविंद, हमें पेशेंट पूछते हैं क्या करें डॉक्टर साहब?
मैम आपसे नहीं, हम लोगों से भी पूछते हैं,
तो हमें क्या एडवाइस करना चाहिए? बस ये हम जानना चाह रहे हैं. बाकी तो ब्रेस्ट फीड तो कराते हैं, खड़े तो नहीं हो पाते हैं. उन्हें फिर हम क्या करें? बार-बार ओपीडी में आके यही तंग कर रहे हैं, दूध नहीं आ रहा, तो हमें कौन सा दूध देना चाहिए? बस हमारे लिए.
मैम आप एकदम सही कह रहे हैं. दिस इज प्रैक्टिकल सिनेरियो, ये प्रैक्टिकल चीजें हैं.
प्रैक्टिकल सवाल पूछ रही हूँ, बाकी तो ब्रेस्ट फीड इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
सिनेरियो इज दिस कि मैम एंटीनेटल काउंसलिंग जो होती है रिगार्डिंग ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग, दैट शुड बी स्टार्टेड इन 3rd trimester. And breast का examination that should be a part of physical examination in 3rd trimester. 7 जो भी आप लोग करते हो, वहां से काउंसलिंग स्टार्ट होती है, तो इनकरेज होता है.
डॉक्टर अरविंद, इतनी बिजी ओपीडी में इसको हम खड़े होकर नहीं एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है.
नहीं, एज ए डॉक्टर आपको नहीं करना है. यू नीड अ ट्रेन्ड स्टाफ टू एजुकेट देम. वो ज्यादा अच्छा है. या तो स्लोगन अपने वहाँ पे एएनसी पेशेंट्स के वहाँ पे होते हैं, तो वहाँ पे ये कर सकते हैं, ये कर सकते हैं. Somehow we have to encourage.
ब्रेस्ट मिल्क के कुछ अच्छे से नोशंस बना के हम अपनी ओपीडीज के बाहर टांगे.
डेफिनेटली मैम। और एक चीज और करते हैं मैम कि ब्रेस्ट मिल्क इज द फर्स्ट इम्यूनाइजेशन ऑफ द बेबी, दैट्स व्हाई। तो उस इम्यूनाइजेशन के लिए मैं एक चीज और आप लोगों से ऐड करना चाहता हूँ, सम ऑफ योर मेंबर्स आर यूजिंग दैट, कि वैक्सीनेशन इन थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर लाइक DTaP एंड इन्फ्लुएंजा वैक्सीन, क्योंकि बेबी जो है वो बहुत क्लोज कांटेक्ट में होता है, मदर इज हैविंग एनी राइनोरिया और एनी वायरल एक्यूट वायरल इलनेस, तो उससे प्रोटेक्शन के लिए मदर से जो पैसिव ट्रांसमिशन हो रहा है एंटीबॉडीज का, दैट कैन प्रिवेंट अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स इन फर्स्ट 6 months। तो आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट फॉर दिस थिंग कि आप लोग भी इन्फ्लुएंजा का वैक्सीनेशन थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर एंड आप लोग जो वो
टीटी के साथ इंजेक्शन आ रहा है इन्फ्लुएंजा का, वो साथ में लगा दें?
नहीं, इन्फ्लुएंजा का अलग आता है मैडम। और अभी आप लोगों का जो चेंज हुआ DT से वो DTaP पे हो गया, क्योंकि पर्टुसिस के केसेस जो है वो बच्चों में और एडोलेसेंट में बहुत बढ़ने लगे, तो ये हुआ कि मदर से ट्रांसफर हो जाए पैसिव इम्यूनिटी।
कौन से मंथ में लगाना चाहिए डॉक्टर अरविंद, अब ये भी बता दीजिए, हम तो नहीं यूज कर रहे हैं।
नहीं मैम, आप लोगों में से बहुत लोग यूज कर रहे हैं, थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर में यूज करते हैं, थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर भी यूज करते हैं। और दिस वाज अ वंडरफुल प्रेजेंटेशन एंड क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर, ये जो था आप लोग का सेशन, दैट वाज द बेस्ट पार्ट। मैं सब कुछ अच्छा था, डॉक्टर अंबर का प्रेजेंटेशन वाज वेरी गुड, बट टेक होम मैसेज हम लोगों के लिए आपके क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन से बहुत अच्छा रहा। Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr.
Just to interrupt for a very simple and important question. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, you are audible.
Ma'am, it is a very simple but very significant question for patients and attendants too. क्या दूध के साथ बीच में बच्चे को पानी पिला सकते हैं?
No, ma'am. Just strong no.
टोटली कंट्राइंडिकेटेड है मैम, नहीं देना है। और वन थिंग मोर आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड कि जब भी मदर ये पूछती है कितनी देर में दूध पिला सकते हैं, जब भी आप लोग फर्स्ट 3 days में राउंड लेते हैं, तो मॉर्निंग एंड इवनिंग टाइम में दोनों टाइम में, एक्सेप्ट इन विंटर सीजन में, जस्ट अनक्लॉथ द बेबीज एंड आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन कि यूरिन कितनी बार पास किया है। फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ यूरिन इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट, क्योंकि इनटेक का पता नहीं चलता, स्पेशली इन प्राइमरीज। वो बोलते हैं हाँ बच्चा तो दूध पीता है, वो सकलिंग मूवमेंट को सोचते हैं दूध पीता है, और बेबी गेट डिहाइड्रेटेड। दैट्स व्हाई वी वेट एवरी 12 hourly in the first 3 to 5 days to check the baby's weight and ask about the urine frequency.
Thank you, Arvind.
Thank you, doctor.
डॉक्टर अरविंद, कितना बढ़ना चाहिए डेली वेट?
मैम फर्स्ट 10 days में तो लॉस होता है, 10% ऑफ द बर्थ वेट का लॉस होता है, उससे ज्यादा लॉस हो रहा है तो वी शुड कंसीडर अबाउट द हाइड्रेशन ऑफ द बेबी।
ओके।
So that loss is for how many days gradually?
मैम सॉरी,
अगर बच्चे का वजन 2.5 kg है एट बर्थ, तो कब तक हम ये मान के चले कि इसका वेट डिक्रीज करेगा? व्हाट वी
मैम फर्स्ट 7 to 10 days, दैट डिपेंड ऑन द प्री टर्म एंड टर्म बेबी का होता है ना, वो स्किन के ऊपर होता है कि स्किन का कैसा वो है स्ट्रक्चर है। टर्म बेबी का फुल ग्रोन स्ट्रक्चर होता है, इसलिए उनमें वाटर लॉस कम होता है, एंड प्री टर्म में ज्यादा होता है। दैट्स व्हाई हम लोग की फ्लूइड की रिक्वायरमेंट प्री टर्म में ज्यादा हो जाती है।
One thing more, as hello.
जी मैम।
It is what people say, कहते हैं कि अरे ये तो बच्चे वाले डॉक्टर ने इसका डिब्बा लिख दिया फॉर्मूला मिल्क, ये तो इतना महंगा है इसके लिए लिख रहे हैं, और हम लोग गाय का दूध पिलाते थे। तो अवेलेबिलिटी जहाँ तक है तक तो ठीक है, जिन फैमिली के लिए अवेलेबिलिटी नहीं है, तो आई थिंक वी कैन गो फॉर काउज मिल्क।
मैम अफोर्डेबिलिटी की इशू नहीं है तो यू कैन गो, बट उनको ये है कि डाइल्यूशन नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम इज विद द डाइल्यूशन ऑफ द मिल्क। तो पानी मिला के पिलाते हैं तो कैलोरीज कम होती है। अभी बेबी डिडंट गेट वेट, तो वेट गेन नहीं होता है, तो उसकी इम्यूनिटी कम होती है, एंड बेबी स्टार्ट फेसिंग अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम विद इन्फेक्शंस एंड अदर थिंग्स।
अच्छा सर, इफ दे आर they have to give cow's milk, they don't have any option, then how do we recommend, what dilutions should we start? Or
sorry ma'am, I don't get the point, what you asking?
अगर कोई फैमिली है जो अफोर्ड नहीं कर पा रही है फॉर्मूला की, बच्चे को काउज मिल्क देना है, तो उसको किस हद तक डाइल्यूट कर सकते हैं या इंटैक्ट मिल्क देना है?
मैम प्योर मिल्क देना है, उनसे बोलना प्योर मिल्क देना है। अगर वो बॉयल करते हैं वहां से वो मलाई हटा के, मतलब जो ऊपर का वो फैट वो हटा देते हैं, और बाकी उसमें पानी बिल्कुल नहीं मिलाना है, वो डिस्करेज करना है।
Arvind, but what I have gone through is pure milk can be started only after 3 months. Initially for 1 month you have to dilute it twice. And anyway, cow's milk has very high protein. If you give so much of high protein undiluted to the fetal, I mean neonatal kidney, it will damage the kidney. So I guess you have to dilute it 2 times if you get the pure milk. If you're not getting the pure milk, then it is no. I mean, then तो
आप भी सही हैं। एक लाइन में बताइए, गाय का दूध बिना डाइल्यूशन देना है कि डाइल्यूशन के साथ?
बिना डाइल्यूशन के। मैम दोनों लोग का क्वेश्चन सही है। सुबह मैम ने भी जो क्वेश्चन रेज किया है, ये स्पेशल सिनेरियो की बात हो रहा है। पहली बात तो ये है कि नहीं देना है। अगर वो अफोर्डेबिलिटी की प्रॉब्लम होती है तब देना है, लेकिन उसमें डाइल्यूशन नहीं देना है, क्योंकि प्रोटीन हाई होता है लेकिन वो कैलोरीज कम हो जाती हैं, तो वहां पे एनर्जी कम मिलता है, तो वेट गेन उसका नहीं होगा। एंड दैट कैन अफेक्ट द ब्रेन ग्रोथ आल्सो, दैट इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि कल को वो एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजन नहीं बन पाएगा। हमारे यहाँ पे वो फैमिली के लिए वो इकोनॉमी नहीं सही कर सकता।
ओके, थैंक यू।
वन मोर क्वेश्चन, अगर गाय का भी दूध नहीं मिल रहा है तो क्या भैंस का दूध दिया जा सकता है?
ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल है मैम। सरोज मैम विल आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन।
काउज एंड बफलोज मैम दोनों भी इक्वल है, बिकॉज बोथ आर डैमेजिंग, बिकॉज उसमें दोनों में बहुत ज्यादा प्रोटीन्स होता है, वो किडनीज के लिए बहुत डैमेज करता है। बफलो मिल्क में फैट थोड़ा सा काउ के मिल्क से ज्यादा होता है, दैट इज, तो वो थोड़ा सा एनर्जी उसमें ज्यादा मिलेगी। लेकिन दोनों में और ह्यूमन मिल्क में कॉम्पोजिशन उनके प्रोटीन्स के और ह्यूमन मिल्क के प्रोटीन्स के, उनके लैक्टोज ह्यूमन मिल्क के लैक्टोज, उनके फैट ह्यूमन मिल्क के लैक्टोज में बहुत फर्क होता है मैडम। इट्स जस्ट जैसे डॉक्टर अंबर ने कहा कि उनका दूध सिर्फ चरने के लिए बना है, और हमारा जो ह्यूमन स्पीसीज का दूध है वो हाई आईक्यू के लिए बना है, क्योंकि जस्ट उनका लैक्टोज और हमारे लैक्टोज में भी फर्क है। मींस ह्यूमन मिल्क का जो लैक्टोज ब्रेन डेवलप करेगा वो उनके दूध का लैक्टोज तो वैसे ही डेवलप करेगा।
तो बफेलो मिल्क शुड बी डाइल्यूटेड।
मधु, one more question. जैसा it's a myth or you can say it's a joke, हमारी और हमसे ऊपर वाली जनरेशन का ये कहना है, माँ का दूध पिलाते थे, लगातार पिलाते थे 2 साल 2.5 साल तक, लेकिन कंडीशंस में जब माँ का दूध नहीं पिला पा रहे, अरे तो हम तो गाय का दूध पी के बड़े हुए हैं, हमने तो खाली भैंस का दूध पिया है, हमारी बुद्धि किसी से कम होता है। That is all, it was a joke obviously, but in that case क्या हमारी जनरेशन का IQ हमारे बच्चों से कम है?
That is a different question, मैम। डिजीजेस बहुत ज्यादा हो गई हैं because of this artificial feeding, autoimmune disorders, cancer disorder, allergy disorder, ये सब बहुत बदल गया हमारी जनरेशन में। इनफैक्ट हमारे में जो जनरेशन है उसमें भी इतने एस्थमेटिक और एलर्जिक, डॉक्टर अरविंद विल एग्री विद, ऑटोइम्यून, एलर्जी, कैंसर जो अब बढ़ रहे हैं बच्चों में, तो कहीं ना कहीं मतलब हो सकता है कि दे माइट बी मोर प्रोटेक्टिव फॉर दैट, ब्रेस्ट मिल्क इज मोर प्रोटेक्टिव फॉर दैट, नॉट अबाउट ओनली द IQ। मे बी अगर टोटल ब्रेस्ट फीड होता तो IQ शायद और ज्यादा होती, हु नोज मैम।
GI problem and skin problem in the formula feed in the cow and buffalo's milk fed babies.
What? I couldn't hear you.
Skin problem and GI problem in the infants, they are on rise because of this cow's milk and buffalo's milk.
Cow's milk.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for the wonderful questions and brilliant answers. Thank you.
Ma'am, can we ask a final comment from our president, Dr. Ashok Yadav, sir? Because he is an active member of BPNI, Breastfeeding Promotion Network of India. We can take a comment from Dr. Ashok Yadav, sir. Ashok, sir.
Thank you, Arvind. मेरा यही मैसेज है, जितने पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं किसी भी मैमेलियन स्पीसीज को देखा है जिन्होंने बच्चे जने हों और उनके बच्चे को दूध ना मिला हो, दूध ना पिला पाया हो, गाय, भैंस, सुअर, कुत्ता, बिल्ली, जितने भी मैमल्स हैं, किसी ने अभी तक देखा है क्या? नॉट इनफ मिल्क का जो क्वेश्चन है, सिर्फ ह्यूमन स्पीसीज में ही क्यों है, सब कुछ होता है। डॉक्टर मधु पूछ रही थी कि एक भी बूंद नहीं निकल रहा है, फर्स्ट डे में बहुत कम निकलता है और उसको पेनफुल है, अभी उसको सीजरियन हुआ है, टाँके लगे हैं, नॉर्मल डिलीवरी में भी पेन है, तो पेन इज ए नेगेटिव इनहिबिटर फॉर द ब्रेस्ट प्रोडक्शन। एड्रेस हर पेन एंड मेक हर कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट हर सेल्फ दैट सबको होता है, आपको भी होगा, आप पिलाओ, कल बढ़ेगा, परसों बढ़ेगा, होने लगेगा।
डॉक्टर अशोक, आपके पास पेशेंट इसीलिए भेजती हूँ कि वो हल्ला करते हैं, नहीं आ रहा है दूध। बाकी
इतना नहीं आएगा कि दिखेगा ना, आप बोलो कि आप बच्चा को मुंह में लगाओ, उसके पेट में जाएगा, आज बहुत कम मिलेगा, कल परसों चौथे दिन से बढ़ता जाएगा, आप परेशान।
मैं फर्स्ट सेकंड डे के लिए पूछ रही हूँ डॉक्टर अशोक,
फर्स्ट
दिन के लिए,
फर्स्ट डे के लिए तो बोलिए, फर्स्ट डे में बहुत कम निकलता है, आपको दिखेगा नहीं, आप पिलाइए, बच्चे के पेट
तो
में जाएगा।
दिखाएंगे कि जीभ सूख रही है, पेट पतला हो रहा है, अब क्या करें, हम हमारा सेहत खराब कर देती है।
7 दिन बोलिए, 7 दिन पतला होगा बच्चा, फिर मोटा होने लगेगा, डॉक्टर रविंद्र ने बताया आपको। 7 दिन तक घटेगा, फिर बढ़ेगा। इससे कॉन्फिडेंस, आप बार बार बोलेंगी, एक पेशेंट को बोलेंगे, 2-3 और सुनती रहती है ना, तो इससे लेवल ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस इन हर सेल्फ विल।
थैंक यू
बहुत मैं बताऊं आपको, बहुत ही अच्छा लगा आपका ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, और पहली बार मैंने जूम अपनी अटेंड किया है, फर्स्ट टाइम, बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था। थैंक यू ऑल ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी एंड ऑल मेंबर्स।
Ashok sir, can we make a common platform of Foxy and IAP Jaunpur to discuss something about perinatology?
Of course, अगर आप लोग तैयार हैं तो इसके लिए तो बनाना चाहिए, बिल्कुल। गायनी आप्स वाले और पीडियाट्रिशियन दोनों का ही कंसर्न होता है, बेबी जो पैदा होता है, और प्रॉब्लम्स जो है जब मदर आपस के पास जाती है तो वहीं पे बताती है प्रॉब्लम अपनी, आपके पास जब बीमार होती तब आती है, बच्चा बीमार होने के बाद ही आपके पास आता है ना, हेल्दी बेबी तो लेके वहीं पे जाते हैं आपस के पास। तो जो भी इस तरह की चीजें हैं तो दोनों तरफ से एड्रेस होना चाहिए बच्चे के बारे में।
Yes, we will try to make a common platform. Okay. Thank you.
We would like to make a common platform, and I think from today onwards we shall एक नींव रख सकते हैं, and I hope and Dr. Arvind अगर इसकी जिम्मेदारी में तो हम लोग बहुत
common questions should be discussed. Those can help in our daily practices, na? We will discuss such topics that can help in our daily practices.
डॉक्टर अशोक से एक बात पूछना चाहती हूँ।
जी मैम।
इवन देन डॉक्टर, जब हमने ये स्टार्ट किया कि ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म में बनाना चाहिए, बात आई गई हो जाती है। अगर आपने अभी इस चीज का नींव नहीं डाला तो प्लीज डू इट, जितनी जल्दी हो सके। कोविड का इंतजार ना करें और लेट्स गो टुगेदर हैंड इन हैंड।
डेफिनेटली मैम।
कॉमन व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप भी बना सकते हैं हम लोग।
अरे एक ग्रुप तो देखती नहीं हो, कितने ग्रुप बनाओगी?
अरे मैम मतलब पीडियाट्रिशियन और ऑब्स्टेट्रिशियन वाला तो इसी टाइप से हो सकता है आजकल, कोविड वाला।
हाँ डेफिनेटली, अगर कोई प्लेटफॉर्म है तो उसका ग्रुप तो बनेगा ही। इट वाज अ जोक अंजू, डोंट माइंड।
या
I think it's time to announce the winners of the quiz.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am, Dr. Amber, Dr. Madhu.
Yeah.
Dr. Madhu, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, ma'am. So can we first announce the winner and then we can do vote of thanks?
Yeah. So the first winner is Dr. Ashok. Second is Dr. Arvind and third is Dr. Shelly. डॉक्टर अशोक, डॉक्टर अरविंद ने तो मुझे लग रहा है गूगल सर्च किया है। शैली
ऐसा नहीं है मैम, अभी ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग वीक चल रहा है, ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग वीक चल रहा है।
बहुत बढ़िया,
थैंक यू।
डॉक्टर शुभा से प्राइज ले लीजिएगा आप लोग।
ओके, थैंक यू मैम, मिल गया प्राइज। आपका इतना अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन था।
मैम व्हाट्सएप से प्राइज भेजिए इन कोविड सीजन।
Thank you everyone for
now,
patient hearing.
It was a wonderful session.
Now I have been assigned to give vote of thanks.
Dr. Shelly, I just want to say something.
Yeah.
Actually, Pankaj ji from Harmonica, he asked me to do a small presentation on bad obstetric history as well. but that BOH in itself is a very vast topic and very important. It will not be justified to do it in today's time. It is very much less time. So for Pankaj ji, we can do another webinar for that topic. So yeah, don't take it otherwise, because this discussion went so long and
it will give us a chance to have another webinar too, Pankaj. That will be another chance for us.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I will do it again.
At least
okay, Dr. Shelly, you can go ahead.
His brand also. At least he can take the name of his brands.
Yeah, it's like online BOH. We should support this brand, and it is really a very good brand. I'm using it on my patients. It gives very good result.
I am also using.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I request Khushbu to mute everyone.
Every time.
Khushbu, please mute so that
Yes,
I feel really privileged to be a part of today's event. And first of all, I pay my sincere regards to our patrons, Dr. Kumud Sharma ma'am and Dr. Salochna ma'am, for their blessings to all the members and their sincere cooperation in all the matters of our jogs. I feel highly obliged. I extend my heartfelt I am grateful to our president, our chairperson, Dr. Shubha Singh ma'am, our vice president, Priyamvada Singh ma'am, and our senior member, Shakuntala ma'am, for wonderfully chairing the sessions. Our moderators and conveners, Dr. Anju and Dr. Madhu Sharda ma'am, who made this event possible and very interesting. I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Saroj Yadav ma'am, who was a special invitee in our session as an expert today. And I'll be failing in my duty if I do not congratulate and thanks Dr. Amber Khan for her wonderful presentation. She has reinforced the importance of breastfeeding in all of us, and she has wonderfully covered various aspects of breastfeeding. And I'll thank Acumentis division of Harmonica division of Acumentis, Mr. Pankaj and Satish, Khushbu and Priyanka. Thanks for organizing this session so wonderfully. And at the end, I thank all the delegates, our obstetrician as well as pediatric colleagues who attended the session, who spared their precious time and made this session a grand success. Thanks to all of you, and good night.
Thank you so much, doctors. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, we will share you the recorded link by tomorrow, doctors. Yeah. Thank you so much. You can leave. Thank you.